Hi guys, I'm now 6.5 weeks pregnant. So what have been my 4 main early pregnancy symptoms? Number 1, sore breasts. Wow, these have been so sore ever since we got that positive pregnancy test. In fact, even earlier. So this is a really common early pregnancy symptom. But why do we get sore breasts? Well, basically hormones. So it's an increase in estrogen and progesterone that causes your breasts to feel fuller, heavier, and definitely more tender to the touch. But it's also because your body goes into overdrive, building up fat, tissue and milk glands in your breasts. And that's the difference, and I've definitely noticed the difference too, why your breasts will feel more sensitive in early pregnancy than they will, say, in a normal menstrual cycle or in a normal IVF cycle where you may not get pregnant. Because I'm used to having sore breasts. We've done so many rounds of IVF, and during an IVF round you administer estrogen and progesterone, so your breasts do get tender. And every other time in every cycle, whenever I did feel the breast tenderness, I would sort of get my hopes up and think maybe that's a positive sign. But it never was until now. But this time round, in this cycle, the difference has actually been marked. So when I looked in my diary, it was probably about 3 or 4 days after when around about implantation would have occurred. That's when I really noticed my breasts ramping up. So they obviously got the memo that something exciting was going on in my uterus, and they definitely came to the party. Much sorer, nipples really tender. I remember one morning I woke up, they were just even rubbing on my cotton nightie, really sore. And in fact, they're still so tender that in the shower I have to protect my nipples with my hand from the needles of water coming from the shower head. Otherwise it's just too painful. And my bras, if you're anything like me and you like to wear a little bit of lace, this is my favourite black lacy bra. I really love wearing this bra with a good dress or something, but you can see that this lace and this nasty big seam here goes right across your nipple. So this has got to sit on the shelf for a while now. It's been retired. And my mainstay is this really super comfortable Ambra Shaper bra, which is seamless. It's got no underwire on it whatsoever. Really comfortable. It gives you good firm support too, so definitely this has become my best friend and will keep my nipples from being abraded against whatever material I happen to be wearing. Number 2, queasiness. Last week I was starting to get hints of queasiness. This week it's ramped up, which for me is just, I feel very happy about that. Even though with my first pregnancy, it was every time I felt a bit sick, it was like, oh, I don't want to be feeling sick. With this one, because we've tried so hard for it, any sign of queasiness I just take as a positive. But why do we get queasy? Well, when I did research on this, I was surprised it's not totally known. So it's thought to be caused by low blood sugar, interestingly, and or a rise in the pregnancy hormone, beta-HCG. And also a rise in estrogen can cause you to feel queasy too. So I think I fall into the camp of feeling queasy from low blood sugar mainly, to be honest, because I've definitely noticed my queasiness is way worse on an empty stomach. And this is going to make it quite hard, I think, to manage my weight this pregnancy, because my body is giving me very bad signals about what it wants. The other morning I ate a raw apple for breakfast, which I like to do. I'm not a huge breakfast eater. So I ate my usual raw apple. I really wanted to throw it up. Whereas later in the day, I'm at Dreamworld with my daughter and we're having an ice cream sundae and fried churros. That went down a treat, no queasiness whatsoever. And in fact, I've noticed that the more I eat, the less queasy I feel. So how fair is that going to be in terms of trying to manage my weight? So I do want to try and be healthy though, so I'm going to try and stick to MUFAs. At this point, dark chocolate is cutting through the queasiness quite well. Also avocados, nuts, and those nice healthy carbs like potatoes. Like the other night I had potato wedges with sour cream. That was also really settling and satisfying for my stomach. And also in nature there are some foods that will give you that high kilojoule, high sugar hit, but they've also got nutrition in them. And a couple of examples are custard apple. That can be really delicious. It's really sugary, really sweet, very high in energy, but will obviously give you those vitamins and minerals that any fruit will. And dates. Dates are also another good option. They're also a really good sweet, especially if you find the ones that are coated in dark chocolate. They're really good. So number 3, more tired. This is one I've also definitely experienced. Last week I almost fell asleep on the couch a couple of times in the middle of the day when I was trying to do some work. One way to combat tiredness is to try and get to bed early. And in fact, I read a study that suggested that women that get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night have healthier babies. So that's really strong motivation to try and hit the sack early. And if you're at work and you can't have a nap, then just have a bit of a walk around the office, or a couple of, just get a bit of fresh air or something. That should freshen you up. Because if you're anything like me, you're avoiding caffeine. I'm not even having my beloved green tea at the moment. I really like green tea. But I looked up green tea in pregnancy. It's not so much the caffeine with green tea, even though caffeine is definitely a risk factor. And I just don't want to take any risks at all. It's mainly that green tea can actually inhibit the absorption of folic acid. So I was quite interested to read that. So green tea is off the tables for me right now. So yes, definitely more tired. Why do we feel more tired? It's the extra progesterone in our system basically that's making us sleepy. Number 4, having to pee all the time. This was very annoying. Last night I had to go 4 times. Usually I'm a once per night max sort of girl, but yeah, last night I was just peeing all the time. And I've definitely noticed that, probably in the last week or so. Why does that happen? Well, your body's producing more fluid, and your kidneys are also getting a lot more efficient in filtering this fluid, so you're just going to have to go to the toilet more often. And I think your uterus normally is about the size of a fist, but even though it's very early days in pregnancy, it's already grown to about the size of a large grapefruit. So that's already putting extra pressure on my bladder and my bowels, neither of which have been super strong since I gave birth to my first child almost 9 years ago now. So I think I'm going to have to hit those pelvic floor exercises sooner rather than later, unfortunately, but I don't think I'm going to have much choice. So they're my 4 main early pregnancy symptoms that I'm experiencing. The sore breasts, the queasiness, I'm more tired, and I'm having to pee all the time. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what early pregnancy symptoms you might be experiencing and how you're managing them. And stay tuned if you want to hear more about this pregnancy journey. See you next time. Bye.